What's up, YouTube?
What's up?
Today we're starting a new series of podcasts. So our first one, I already made a few podcasts, but they were really short. This one might be 10, 20 minutes long. Until we get our Chick-fil-A, we'll probably eat. But yeah. We have some topics.
Yep.
That were definitely planned out and not making up right now. Dasher, come here. Dasher's gonna be joining us. He's over there. Yeah. But we have our sprites. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast.
There's no podcast going on.
Yeah, there is. This is the podcast now.
I know, but then why aren't we saying anything?
So, first of all...
Ow, I don't want to suck your balls.
Well... Well, today we are gonna... So, let's talk about the first thing in, like, everyone else's podcast, sports.
Yeah. Sports. Woo!
And... like, we all are surprised, like, the Lions beat the Chiefs. And I'm like, yeah, Patrick Mahomes didn't really bring his A game.
He did good, but he didn't put 100% in.
Yeah. And that was really apparent. And especially the defense of... the Lions is normally not that good. Probably because the Lions are not good. So if this is going to reflect how the Chiefs are going to play the rest of the season, then this season is going to be a huge letdown.
Another thing on the NFL side, Aaron Rodgers gets hurt for the third play of the game. Like, how does that happen?
Well, how did he get hurt?
So there was a person, a cornerback running, and he got through the offensive line, and he went straight for him, and it looked like Aaron Rodgers, it looks like he didn't get hurt, but he started laying on the ground, and now he's out for the whole entire season.
Yeah. That doesn't explain why he got, how, did he, break something or sprain something?
He had something happen with his calf right here.
Feet.
Dash, come here.
Yeah, and how this is gonna affect the Packers will really depend on
Jets.
He's on the Jets now?
And
did that trade happen last season or this season?
This season.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he's on the Jets now.
Isn't he 40?
Older, I think.
That's amazing.
And people on the Jets are saying this might be his last season. He's not going to even be playing.
That is, amazing. Just how long he was able to put up his career. But you never know. This could be his last year. But he'll probably want to come back for more. If he's getting injured the third play of a game, he's going to want to come back for more. So I think that next season is going to be his last season. Because if he just comes back on a 6-week recovery time, then there's going to be completely new setup of offensive line and maybe not new people, but new plays that he's going to have to get used to. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if he can do that because he's 6 weeks behind and he has to get physical training back in. He has to figure out how to run, and
He's not gonna. He has to get back in the groove of things because right now his leg is not the best. He's gonna be out for the whole entire season with a boot on, and that's not good.
the entire season.
Entire season.
Yeah, like I said, he's definitely gonna want to come back for more.
But the problem is he's getting old, and he just might let.
But I feel like that's not an Aaron Rodgers thing to do. Do you know who the backup is? Backup quarterback for the Jets?
I honestly don't know. I was only watching it for like the first half, so. And I know he's number 2, but that doesn't help anything.
Was it their first game?
Yep.
Do you know who the Barnstormers are?
No.
So there's a league called the IFL, which is indoor football. It's like it's
Yeah.
still professional, but it's indoors. Iowa has a team called the Iowa Barnstormers. They went through 4 or 5 quarterbacks in their 12-game season because they lost last year in 2022. They didn't make it through the playoffs. And that year, I think Massachusetts won. They have like 13 13 teams. There's Tulsa, Oklahoma. There's a few in Texas. I think 2 in Texas, 3 in Arizona. Bismarck, actually didn't, because of like taxes, they didn't have an IFL team, but they're coming back. They just didn't play for an entire year, which really upset a lot of people in the Dakotas because that was their team, you know. And the Rattlers, Sugar Skulls, and I forgot what the Maryland team was, but they all are amazing teams. I just don't know how Iowa next year can rethink their losses of last year. Their score was 12-13, which is very or no, not 12-13, 2-13. They won 2 games and lost 13. One of the biggest fails in IFL history. Now, they went through 5 quarterbacks, and they should have won the first game, but their quarterback got injured in the second half. They were winning by like 17 points, but their backup was just not doing their job. They didn't win by like 2 touchdowns. That's amazing how you win by 17 points and then lose by 2 touchdowns, just with one player getting injured. Isn't that weird?
That is kind of weird. Okay, back to NFL.
Yes.
Something crazy happened on Sunday. Last time, the Dolphins take over the Chargers. Now this was a big game. Tyreek Hill had an amazing game, and if you were doing a fantasy league, you would have got tons of points, because he was rocking it. He was catching passes, he was scoring touchdowns, and that's how he led the Dolphins to 36-34 game.
And especially that the Chargers have been so on and off, you don't know if they're going to be good or bad. I think a bird just hit this. Sorry. I feel like a news reporter. Yeah, and Tyreek Hill just fails to disappoint. Like, he is just so good.
If you ask Tyreek Hill to like completely fail, or like do something on purpose.
Even if he tried, he probably couldn't. I'm
He
gonna let
wouldn't.
Dash in. Keep talking about Tyreek Hill.
So Tyreek Hill had an amazing game last week. He was amazing. If you were playing fantasy, you would have got tons of fantasy points from him.
said that.
I know, but in a total, you would have got 40 or more points. That's a lot.
Now, who knows if Miles just made that number up or not? We will really never know.
Oh, trust me, I checked this morning. That was real.
I don't have a fantasy team this year, which is sad. But I
It is sad, very sad.
forgot to make one. But I'll probably do the NBA. Let's change from football to basketball.
Okay, here we go.
Last year, for March Madness, I have I have so much I want to cover. FAU, my dad's team, making it to the Final Four, a 9 seed. You want to know how many have done that in history? 2.
2.
And they were the third one. Now, that is amazing. No, that's just so weird. And that last minute game buzzer, I was there at Texas. That felt like a bullet. That last minute. If you don't know, I think it was San Diego State. And they were down by 1 point. 4 seconds on the clock. Golden, their center, I think, misses the shot off the backboard into their center's hands. He dribbles down the court, needing this last second shot, 2 seconds on the board. Shoots it up, buzzer beater for the last second shot. It was so amazing, but so bad at the same time for FAU.
I remember FAU. That was really good game, but that kind of messed up with people's brackets too. Like mine, I thought FAU was gonna lose when they got
for Memphis.
from Memphis, but they just come back.
That's
why
just amazing.
That's why last year was like just a weird season for the bracket.
7 people in register got the Final Four right. I'm surprised 7 people got it. And none of them got a perfect bracket. They all thought that, a lot of them thought that FAU would beat SDSU, and then, everyone thought that the Huskies were going to win. But the weird thing is, not even if they predicted the Final Four right, none of them got a perfect bracket. Because maybe they thought that Purdue was going to beat the 16 seed, then lose to FAU. The thing is, I don't think FAU would be there if Farley Dickinson, the 16 seed, took out Purdue, the 1 seed. That is the second time in history that's happened, which is so amazing. A 16 seed beating a 1 seed, nobody saw that coming. Purdue, I was watching that game. Purdue, I thought, played pretty good. But, it is how it is. Miles, what do you think?
Okay, yes, great. Now, let's get to Iowa. Iowa had an amazing game versus Michigan State Spartans and versus them. But I was actually at that game in Iowa City, and I saw everything from buzzer beaters to turnovers to all that.
Turnovers are in football.
There's turnover. Okay, I saw everything, everything. I'm not joking. And they played a heck of a game, but when it got down to the fourth quarter, Iowa started dropping in points. That kind of sucked for them because there was only 3 minutes left, and they had to come back by about 20 points. So all of a sudden, I was like, okay, we need to get our head in the games. Let's do this. they started making like 8 threes. They started making like millions of threes, and then there was like 3 seconds left on the clock, and they just shot it up, made it in, and it went to overtime, and that's how Iowa won against Michigan State Spartans.
And then they lost in the second round. So, I actually had Purdue going all the way 2 years in a row. That didn't happen. You want to know something? Purdue was the number 2 pick for everyone. Almost a quarter of all the brackets were lost when Purdue didn't win.
That's what I meant by March Madness being so crazy.
That was actually March Madness. It was, and a 13 beating a 4, like a 12 or a 15 beating a 2, Princeton, Arizona.
Okay, now let's be done with all this boy March Madness. Now we're gonna go over to the girl side of things.
Now,
the championship game, Iowa versus LSU.
Now, so
that was amazing.
So,
even though Iowa lost, it was a pretty amazing
now
game.
Caitlin Clark led her team to victory all throughout the game, and for it to be a number 1 and a number 2 seed is pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people predicted that final 2, and it just, the most controversial thing was when their head or one of their best players went like this to Caitlin Clark. And then the reason why she did that is because she did that to one of her friends. Caitlin Clark did that to one of her friends. This. Which I admit is
kind of over the top.
But they weren't in the middle of the game.
No, they were like 30 seconds towards the end, and she did that. Like Iowa was only down by 2 because it was a pretty close game at the end. They were only down by 2, and then she just starts doing that. Everyone goes crazy. Everyone is mad at LSU for it, and
now, that is an upset. But I think Caitlin Clark, she's gotten a lot of deals at the best colleges, but she wants to stick. She wants to stick with Iowa. Just for, for the vibes, Yeah, she just wants to stick with Iowa. And I really don't blame her.
I wouldn't blame her because she led Iowa to victory all through the bracket.
But you can't just have one person
win. Then they get to the championship and they lose only by
like 12.
Yeah, 12. That's not bad, but
it's not, especially against a 1 seed. And especially when they've been crushing everyone, it was just the competition. Now, if we're talking about the finals, SDSU versus Connecticut, we all know what was going to happen. And frankly, I love Miami, but they didn't put up any fight at all against Connecticut. And that's kind of sad to say, but I was very mad at the Final Four game that we had both tickets to see a Miami game. And
then they
I didn't see that live. I saw that over TV because we got really mad, just left.
Okay, we got 30 more seconds before we're going to wrap this up. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you got some information about sports from this.
Yeah, and hopefully we have Miles back on the channel for a podcast. I don't think we're going to make a podcast channel unless these get a lot of views.
If we get so many views on this, we will do it again.
If this gets over 50 views, I think we'll do this I think we'll make a new channel over it. But if it doesn't, I think we're just gonna keep posting these because I love doing these.
Okay.
But
Thank you guys
we've
for
reached-
watching.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
So thank you guys for watching. It's been great talking to you guys about this stuff. See you later.